Amongst the many challenges faced by female students in the university, it has been observed that sexual exploitation is one of the common challenges faced by this gender in the university milieu. Hello televiewers, good evening and thank you for joining us on this edition of Issues on Divine Mercy Radio Television this Friday. On today's edition of the program, we are going to take a keen look at some of the challenges faced by the female students in the university. We are also going to be delving into the reasons why they get themselves into these challenges or why these difficult moments come their way, and we shall also be recommending possible solutions to such trying moments. When we come back, we shall be introducing to you our guests of today. Hello wonderful people, this is your Friday production on Divine Mercy Radio Television, and the program on air, as you know, is Issues. I am Fomucha Mirabel for presentation, and I'm inviting you to join me. Welcome our guest of honor, who is always available on the program. Hello Madam Sarah.
Good evening Madam Mirabel. Good evening televiewers. Good evening to all the Catholic Christian, and we say congratulations to the newly ordained, and good evening to all watching Divine Mercy TV at this moment.
And we also wish you all a happy Easter, and happy Easter especially to you, Madam Sarah.
Thank you so much, and wish you a better one as we journey throughout this wonderful season of Easter.
Okay, we get into our topic of discussion, where we are looking at the challenges faced by the female university students, and we are going to be looking at the consequences and giving some recommendations. Now, before we really get into some of these challenges, do you think it is worth looking at the female students? Because some of our viewers out there may be wondering why the focus on the female university students.
Yes, Madam Mira, it's very important looking at female gender in the university milieu, because they are the weak sex. They are the weak sex, which if care is not being taken, they go astray. You know, with men, they are very smart in doing their things, and they are the men who goes about fooling or deceiving the girls, because the girls are the weaker gender. For sure, we are saying that what a woman can do, a man can what a man can do, a woman can do it better. But at a certain level, that saying does not hold.
It doesn't hold when it comes to the women, because when you say that the men are the ones deceiving the women are of a weaker gender. I see there's a little problem in this. I don't know, because you're trying to defend the women, and I don't think this is correct.
You know, I want to draw myself back to creation.
Okay.
God did that first to the man. Mm-hmm. He created the man first. And you know what God did? Mm-hmm. He removed just a side, a rib from the man to create a woman. He molded the man and formed it. But in creating a woman, he did not mold the woman. He removed the ribs from the man to form the woman. So it's to tell us that we women, we are the weaker sex. Yes, look at how God did that. He created, he formed it, he molded the block, or he molded the ground, breathed in to form the man. But in creating the woman, he removed just a rib, just one from the side of a man to create a woman. It shows that we are to succumb.
Okay, we are to succumb, and it shows that we are the weaker sex. I want us to analyze the situation where the women have proven to be stronger than the men in terms of deceiving the men. Because yes, we have heard of so many situations where the university girls are, fond of telling sweet lies, and they are fond of convincing the men and leading them into actions which they are not prepared to take.
Madam Mira, the truth is, before a woman decides to turn, check what the man has done.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's revenge. It is not of their nature.
Yes,
it is actually revenge.
It's not the nature of a woman too. But when they see that the men these days want to go or want to use them, now they become more satanic. Yes, it is easy for women to use their simple and sweet word to deceive, but they are still very good girls and very good women. But because the men themselves started it, they are no longer being that responsible, because as a man you need to be very responsible and carry up a good responsible duty to shelter a woman. But the moment you start going astray and the woman sees that you are doing it in a naked intentionally, if a woman wants to back it and comes back for you, he comes 10 times, he'll give you what you are giving 10 times. I'm talking out of experience that I am facing now with a friend. Okay. Let me just share this. The man was thinking like he is. The friend is she's a weaker person.
Humble.
Very humble. As humble as the word humble. But after some time, after crying, making her to cry, all the time making her to cry, she had to fold up.
She hadn't up.
Now is the man doing what? Crying. When she has already picking the broken bottle and she wants to revenge, but out of that fearful nature that she always have in her, she has decided not to. So you see in a situation that they are humble. Let's not pretend these days it's because of what the men are doing. If you even go to the university milieu, you see some of those things that the girls are doing. We may be going in and out and coming, but we are diving towards something. You see exactly what those girls are doing. Ask their reasons. They are being influenced maybe by the men. We have lecturers that we want you sexually because they need something, or because you need something from them. And now you just give in because you are very weak. You don't know what to do, and you just give in. Most of the lecturers, they are men. Because I am financially down as a female student. I don't have money for handout, and maybe I may explain or beg somebody, and the person backs me up or shout at me. The next thing I want to do is to look for a man. And the lecturer now I start get myself interested in the lecturer. Because the lecturer now will start give me all their notes. Who is the one pushing me to that level? They are the men. So we should not pretend as if the women are not the weaker sex. They are the weaker sex. So we are just only talking about the environment, the university environment, talking about a female student in that environment, because we want to also help ourselves and also help the girls and also struggle to educate the men, so that together we avoid some of those things, so that the girls now start coming back to their real self. Because we have pushed those girls doing what they don't want or they don't like doing, and majority of the case are the men pushing them.
Okay, yes. I want us to look at the vulnerability of the girl or the female students in the university. How vulnerable are they, and what takes them to that position of being vulnerable, despite let us put away their nature of being maybe the weaker sex. Yes, let's say they are university students. What pushes them to that level of vulnerability?
Madam Mira, the first thing is poor family planning.
Okay.
Yes, that's the first thing that will push them to that level within that university milieu.
Okay.
Yes, if I know that my child is up to this level, and this year she will be in this level, or she will be going to the university, me as the parent or me as a family head will sit down together and struggle to make a plan to see that this child does not go out of hand or does not go to that level of living herself because she needs this at that particular level in that university milieu. So we have poor family planning. Family that does not sit and look at the tax ahead of them. Most parents think that just paying the child fees, you have done everything.
You have done just like 5% of the job.
5% of the job. There's still much ahead of you. And when you think that, okay, my child is going to the university this year, before you think of it, you should know that that child is in the upper seed. And that child, she is writing the advanced level. And the next academic year, that child will be in the university. You should start thinking of, if that area where you live does not have a university around you, that child needs to have a small room
somewhere where the university is closest.
Yes, that child needs food. Or you decide that every week or every after 2 weeks, that child comes back home, so that you discuss with the child, you see where he or she is lacking, so that together you will work on it. But if you just think that, okay, this is your fees, I have looked for you a room, then you can sort things out. What are you doing? You are selling the child outside. And when the child is in that university milieu, too many difficulties. First, we have peer pressures too. That child has gone to an environment, maybe she's not versed with it. And they have handouts to buy. And maybe that child has friends with parents funding their bills. And you, that papa, you just sit and think that, okay, my child is in the university and I'm careless, I have paid her fees. And you don't feel like that child needs a handout. This is money, and that child needs a part. Because these days, if you see children in the university, you go to the university, 17 years child, she is there, and she just left the parents and she's coming there. And if you don't mold her well, you lost her to the society.
Exactly.
And when you lost her now to the society, who started it? The parents. So the first thing that is making that child to be vulnerable, that girl child in that university milieu, is poor family planning. Yes. In any household, they should learn how to plan. A family that fails to plan has failed to educate their children. You may not only pay fees and think that you're educating your child intellectually, but the moment you sit and plan that, okay, this is what we think that this year will look like academically, we'll pay the fees, we'll do this, we'll do that, child, no matter how small you are giving and you are showing it, the child always come back. No matter what she faced in that school, she knows that they are providing. But if you abandon her, she's on her own in that university ground, and there are things she has to meet up with, and she cannot. The next thing, she start going astray, and the people that will start pulling her or will start telling her that this is what you can do, they are friends. They are friends. So we should try as parents to plan academically well before we send out our children. On that 2 months to come, this academic year will be ending, and you know that by June children are writing, and parents should know that by August results will be out. So from now, you start planning for that child who is writing advanced level. If that child succeed, and then good. But if she does not succeed, still good, because you will still send her back to school. So the first thing that helps or leave the girl child in a university milieu to be vulnerable is poor family planning. The second thing is physical harassment. Okay,
let's just talk a little bit about the poor family planning, because you rightly put it so well that most of our parents, they put a lot of efforts to see that we go to school, but they forget to understand that just going to the university or paying the tuition is just like 5% of the job. And planning for a child to be in the university, it is not a day's job. It's not something that you get up in the morning or you get up 2 months before and you start thinking about it. Yes, with people that have the money, who have the means, they can say, okay, even in a day, I can plan for a 1 year period for my child to live in the university. But you have to know who you are. You have to know your capabilities. If you are in a home, if you're a parent who knows that I need like 12 months to save to ensure that my kids go to school or my child goes to the university successfully, you need to plan for 1 year. If you are someone who knows that I need 5 years, I have my daughter who is maybe 15, in 3 years' time, she's going to be in the university or so, you start planning at the age of 15. I think that's what we are talking about, planification at the level of the family, so that it makes the female, we are talking about the female, we know that, please, the boys should not be angry. We are just trying to look at the female gender because they have specific needs, and that's why we are looking at them on this edition of the program today. So let us continue with the other factors that make the female child to be vulnerable in the university milieu.
The second one is I'll talk about peer pressure. The thing is, there's this saying that we started getting it before now, that all fingers are not the same. Mm-hmm. And that is true. All fingers are not the same until we get to that level to know that all fingers are really not the same. Then we are not doing anything. And those that should start telling us, the female children going to school, that all fingers are not the same, are the parents. Because the moment you start educating your child that all fingers are not the same, you may need a dress for 10,000 and I can afford something for 3,000, because in the university they are putting assorted, and then these days girls want all kinds of dress to put it on to school, and still they are very young. They are going into an environment that maybe they know nobody around, and they may be tempted to look up to their fellow friends, but they will not know that all fingers are not the same. They start going out to have peer pressure. Maybe I needed a boyfriend gene, like they call it, and my father cannot afford it. Or what my parents can afford is what I am putting on. But I see my friend putting on that gene. I start thinking on another means to get their gene, because I have not getting the right education from my parents educating me that all fingers are not the same. Accept what you have at that moment. Accept what you can do. They say what you can do it well. What you cannot do, allow it. God will take care. I remember when I was going to school, when I was going there at my 17 teachers training, there was this experience I had by then. It is too costly going there. I will leave from Bakwe town to that area, and every day at times I will sit and I will tell myself, was it even necessary? It was a neighbor that she called me. She said, Sarah, I know you may be facing challenges now because it is not really biscuit. Maybe from where you're coming from, there's a lot on your head. But remember that all fingers are not the same. That which you want it to happen, God will do it. Remember that your parents are talking to you, and listening to them. They may not have, but remember that all fingers are not the same. And God will do it in its own time. Believe you me, Amira, from that day, I hold her up there, and that word pushed me right to the end, because there will not be a day. There are times we'll go there and they are going to the canteen, and to get food from there is from 700 and above. I have to pay transport 500 and go to school, and then I'll go there and get food for 700 just for break. Before I go, I'll go with my lunch. Yes,
because 700 for 10 days, that's 7,000? If you have to use 700 every day for 10 days.
I will go there with my lunch. Before I leave my house, I have prepared something. I'll put it in my lunch box. When I get to school, when it's break, I'll remove my lunch. I'll eat. My friends should go and have their meal. It's not my business, because I remember that. I know that all fingers are not the same. So that peer pressure will not even push me to that level of thinking that we're vulnerable there, because I want to eat like them. I want to act attain that level like them, I stood my ground. Every day if I'm going to school, I have my lunch in my bag.
And I think the university administration understands this so well, because back then in the university, I'm sure the University of Boye, I'm sure they are still doing that now. We had a canteen where just for 100 francs you can eat good fufu and eru with one kanda. Yes, that was enough for us. You eat moyondo and dole.
Yes, so just for 100 francs.
Come and see us on a Thursday when it's fufu and eru. Come and see how we queue, just to eat for 100 francs. It all tells us that you must know your roots. Because we had and we are still having places down there in Moliko where they prepare real good meal. If you want to have enough obstacle in your eru, there's no need to go to the canteen or resto. We used to call it resto in those days, to get food for 100. But because you understand your roots, you know where you're coming from, you have to decipher what to do, what is necessary for you to do at that time. It is to eat that food for 100 francs and save the rest of the day, so that you don't get yourself into the level of being vulnerable. And because once you are vulnerable, you are exposed to a lot of challenges. And when those challenges comes, remember, they have their own effect.
Yes. The next point is negative comments. It is still us, the girls or the female gender, that still point, or we throw words back to our friends. And because I dress way, no say in a university, why head this way? Nigga, those comments now start playing inside of you, and then you start thinking
that you're not up to standard.
You are not up to standard because of those negative comments you get every day in campus or on campus. And because you see your friends and they are saying those negative comments, you're seeing that they think that people are coming to pick them, and you start feeling that maybe
you need someone to pick you up.
This comment with a good car. This comment is blocking that person to always come and pick you, and you start exposing yourself because you need those facilities. So those comments should not move you. Those comments, if you have come there, you should know why you are there.
You're there.
If you are in that university milieu, you know that you have come to learn. It's a study environment.
You should have a focus. You should have a mission.
Yes. And know that this is the reason why I am here. Whether you talk up, you talk down, a child that has that mind will not even care. And that part of being weak will not even come. Because the moment you start giving your ears to all those things, you start being vulnerable now to let anything come your way, so that you want to please the society.
Exactly.
Yes. You go in a class, you don't know people level, you don't know where they are coming from. And you start feel like you want to measure up with them because of comments, because of peer pressure and not knowing where you are coming from.
I just want to add on to what you have said with respect to you're supposed to know your mission. Some of us in those days when we're going to the university, we just wanted to be called university students. We just enjoyed leaving checkpoints, putting on something nice, looking good, and strolling down. Even when you had 100 francs to pay your transportation from checkpoint to UB, you prefer to stroll, to see the environment, to also have people to see you. Yes, hey, this is a university girl. You miss the focus, and it is very common with those who are going, the freshmen. It's very common with them, because at that time you think you've left the stress at the stress of the high school, where you were putting on uniforms every day, you were reading, burning the midnight candles, and you just wanted to find yourself in another environment, another higher environment of higher learning. And when you get into the university, you lose that focus. Meanwhile, the main focus or the mission while you're going to the university is to improve on your academic powers, such that you will become better tomorrow. But when you miss that and you get into the university milieu and you start listening to your peers, you start watching what they are doing, and you want to mimic what they are doing, you want to practice what they are doing, forgetting that your main goal while you're in that environment is to study, and to study hard and come out with a good grade, and not just to study. And then you come out with a let my people go, because
that is why these days they used to,
there's this saying, effect.
There's this saying that people go to school pass through them, they did not pass through the school because their mission was not accomplished. They went there for something else.
Yeah.
So for us to survive, I think that for us to survive, just the word surviving is the synonym of surviving is endurance. Endurance. That is, you struggle to endure. So that school should not pass through you, but you should pass through school. So that you see all those things. You know that my reason for going to this university is because tomorrow I want to become this. Tomorrow I want to achieve this. Tomorrow I want to read this, so that this can improve my academic knowledge in this particular domain, so that people too can benefit from it. Madam Mira, these days, how many university students go to school and obtain what their first degree and can back it up? It's very difficult these days. Is it that they are not teaching the same method or the same way in the university? They are doing it, but because of all this, especially the girl child, because of that vulnerability and that weakness and that aspect of comparing,
competition is also one thing that's killing the female university students.
Yes, the aspect of competition has really erased what they went there to do. It has cancel it. Maybe it's just like they have changed environment to go and like there is this fun time whenever they are writing GCE. At the end of the day, these students, they are done writing, they were breaking their pens and shouting, "Boya, here we come! Boya, here we come! Boya, here we come!" What are they coming to do? They have been hearing from their friends that there is something wonderful in Boya. So they are coming out not for that university, but they are coming out for something else. So school is not passing through them. They are passing through it and just living their life. And because they have always seen it as a means to come and do something foolish, that is why they are happy coming. They cannot back their degree. They cannot express themselves. There are times you ask a university child to even pray in public. I know feed me. I know feed me.
Public speaking becomes very difficult for them.
Very difficult for them. But that's a university child that before now, you know that when you are in the university, you have attained a level that. But these days, most of their study there is just for fancy. We don't say that is everybody doing it. But that is why you see they are complaining every day about the female children in the University of Boya. Not because the teachers or the professors are not teaching. They are teaching, but they have come with other weakness, and they are just open to anything, and they are competing, and they are leaving their body, they are leaving their self to be pulled out by those things that were not supposed to.
You know, when we talk about competition, we are looking here at the negative competition, because when you get into university, there are some female students who are also very smart to identify those who can help them grow. You know, so when you see someone who can help you grow, it is okay to get into competition with that person, because you're competing in such a way that it brings something positive to you. If you see someone who is smart in your group of friends, you can say, okay, I want to be like this person. And so you follow that footsteps of, if you see that person reading day and night, if you cannot read day and night, but at least you can try to read in the day, or you can try to read during a few hours during in the night. So these are the type of competitions that we are saying they are positive. But when you start getting into, you see someone, the person comes with different dresses every day to school, you just want to be like that person, not knowing that your background is different from the background of the other person.
There's this statement that is passing through Facebook. Yesterday I got a message like, many female students, most especially female, they are playing or they have 10,000 francs jangi every week, but they are not working.
10,000 every week.
Yes. And what are they doing with the money for hairs and cloth to show off? They are playing 10,000. Statistics have shown that most of the female students, most of them around the university area, they have 10,000 francs jangi every week, but they are not working. What are they doing with it? They want bone straight. They want human hair this to show off. For who? To who? Now you will have missed it. We have missed the goal, and those that have missed the goal, leaving them to this level. I come back to the first point: parents. Parenting these days is no longer what we used to be. Because I remember that your child is supposed to visit you maybe after 2 weeks if you're around. Your child goes for weekend, and you discuss with the child and see what she is doing, so that where you can help and you struggle. Parents used to leave Munyenge and carry cocoyam to come and give their children
in Boya. Even Bamenda, parents used to use this transport, the agencies, to send them beings. I can remember later, Eno Tanjong, may he rest in peace, he will say that if you did something, just go to mile 17. You will see beings on the ground. You will see rice on the ground. Just be picking them. Those are surviving strategies. So parents today, I don't know if is it that the beans is no longer in Bamenda? Is it that the corn that we used to have from Bamenda is no longer there? We really don't know what the problem is.
What the problem is, because these days they don't even have time. The children don't ask, the parents don't bother.
And it will strike your mind to know that some of the parents even call their daughters to say that I lack red oil in the house.
Yes.
Your daughter who is in the university. The parents will call you to say that Mommy, Maggie, so since last week I don't get Maggie. So when you're making that call to that female student, a first year student or second year student or even third year student, whatever level, what do you have in your mind?
What is she working in Boya? What is she doing? Have you even asked yourself how that child survived? If that child has an handout in school. Because if you don't have that time, you're pushing the child. And the more you push the child will be forced to do those things that she was not even thinking. And doing it, what else can I do? I need to survive. Because I am on my own. At least before you even come and give or rent a house for that child, ensure that there should be a family relative around.
But sometimes it's not everywhere that you get family relatives around to help.
Madam Mira, a family relative must not be your blood. Your blood.
Okay.
Entrust your child to somebody. And trust that child to somebody, an elderly person that person will have to follow up this child and even caution the child.
And mark you, Madam Sarah, let it also be someone who is responsible.
Yes.
Because we have heard of cases where parents will entrust their daughters. Say, Uncle Simon, please, if you bear the name Simon, forgive me, I'm just using an example on this program. I'm not talking about all the Simons. Uncle Simon, this is your daughter. Please ensure that they want to send allowance, they send it through Uncle Simon. They want to send your house rents, they send it through Uncle Simon. Uncle Simon now becomes your caretaker, caring for your physical needs and caring for your private needs. Uncle Simon now becomes your little God.
Yes.
And sometimes you even go to Uncle Simon to say, Uncle, I don't have 1,000 francs for transportation.
Uncle Simon may have even received and may not want
to give you and start making you vulnerable to what Uncle Simon will want. Because sometimes we are talking about the sexual exploitation which the female students, it has been noted that it is one of the common challenges which they face. Some of these uncles that we trust our female students with, they turn out to be the most dangerous people. So we must be very careful to who do you really trust your girl child.
It is the world is coming to a level that, Madam Mira, at times we don't even know what to say. Look at a video that was online that a male teacher will go and he is harassing children that he is teaching at home. So we don't know which to trust, which one to. But there's still good people
out there. They say one cocoa they spoil all soup, or it spoil all fufu. But don't be say all the cocoa then bad. It's just one.
Just one does spoiler. So what we are trying to say, that if you go within that family lineage and you don't trust somebody, go within the church environment. The church is a safety zone to discuss things. We have priests, we have reverend sisters, we have reverends who are there. You can entrust that you know that if something goes wrong today, you have somebody to shout. And they will not want to have that disgrace.
Exactly, that's true.
They will struggle to bring that child up morally,
spiritually,
and even physically, to see that. They'll even surprise the child that I'm coming to your room or I'm coming to your house just to see the friends she is keeping. So we struggle to entrust. Don't just come and rent a room, allow the child pay the fees, and you think you're good.
And you're only waiting for the day to come for graduation. What happens to the 3 years and sometimes even 4 years? You know, what happens to those periods?
That is why you see they used to say that some parents who dress well and come to Boya, but their child is not among those
who are graduating, because you don't have a grip on your child. You don't even know what your child is doing at the university.
You have just abandoned her on her own. She thinks and she does her thing her way. She follow her friends. They go to club. They take shisha. They enjoy themselves. She's not going to school. You don't have you time. You only want to come for graduation. Every year, this is your 50,000 francs fees. Okay, you don't even know that this child within this month, where mama, have you been eating it? Have you been doing it? What about handout? If this 1,000, where mama, can you photocopy the one for 200? This is what I can offer.
Can you do it front and back? Minimize the cost?
Yes.
Because sometimes why some of the ladies get into this difficult moment is poor management. Because the parents too, we are not condemning the parents. We are just highlighting all the areas or majority of the areas where we think the fault is coming from. Yes, some of it too is poor management on the part of the female students.
Yes.
Because your parents will say, okay, 50,000 francs after I've paid your rents, after I've maybe stocked the house with food, 50,000 francs can take you to the end of the month.
Yes.
And because you cannot manage properly, you get yourself into a situation where after 2 weeks, 50,000 francs is gone. So where do you also expect the poor woman in the village to get another 50,000 francs to send to you? So some of these ladies, we are the ones promoting all this vulnerability to ourselves. And another area, Madam Sarah, which people have highlighted is laziness. Laziness in such a way that you come to school to study, you don't put in effort to study. You don't learn. You are so nonchalant. You are so lazy. Anything which concerns reading, you are not there. Whatever concerns group studies, you are not there. You are just lazy. And once you are this lazy, CA 5 on 30. When you have a CA of 5 on 30, how will you survive in the exams? You are now vulnerable to the lecturers, because sometimes we always put the blame on the lecturers, which we are not applauding the lecturers here. Lecturers who exploit female students because of marks, sexually transmitted marks. We are not applauding you. What we are saying here is that students too should also be on the watch, should also take their responsibility, because once you're a lady and you come with a 5 on on 30, that male lecturer knows that with 5 on 30 you cannot survive.
Yes.
And let me massa, ma'am, use the opportunity. You know, let me use this opportunity. If she wants to have a 25 on 30,
she should offer something.
She should offer herself to me, and that's one of the core. And with that, most of the ladies, you don't want to come back for receipt, because even coming back for receipt with a 5 CA, you are just wasting your time, and you will not want to carry over the cost to the next year. So you become vulnerable now to that lecturer.
Because you did not even focus. You were not focused. Like I used to tell my children, learning has never been easy, and learning will not be easy. We keep learning. We keep putting effort to learn
every day.
Make an effort, and when you put effort, you will know it. But when you are just being lazy and weak, how will you know? You will not know. And when you don't know, you will fail. And when you fail, you'll be forced to do things which are not correct because you want to go to the next level. But until we get to that point to know that this is the reason why I have come to school, or why I'm this university, I have come for this purpose, and until I get it, I will not get tired. Every moment you struggle to learn. Though learning without play makes Sarah a dull girl. But we should not put it 80-20. Your pleasure is 80, your learning ability is 20. Even within the household, within our society, we learn on how to build it and how to relay life.
Exactly. And you can always bring it up to 50, 60. Why not 70?
Why not 70? You need your pleasure, as you also need that learning ability to be very high. But if you just come, you're lazy, you're weak. After all, when I get to this level, I'll just go and offer my body.
And I think that another issue too, female students, we are not condemning you on this program. We know that sometimes you have also suffered in the hands of these male lecturers. Yes, because some of us are talking from experience. Some of us have seen, some of us have witnessed, some of us we have heard. So male lecturers too, some of them are not easy.
Yes.
It is not, we don't think it's a bad thing to admire a female student, because from admiration you get attracted to someone, you admire that person, you start discussing one or two things, and soon we don't know, it leads to marriage. So something must lead us to somewhere. But what we are saying here is that when you are attracted to a female student, it is not a do or die. It is not a must that the female student should be attracted to you. Because when you approach a female student for a relationship and that student says no, maybe it's not the right time for me. Maybe you are not the type of man for me. Maybe you are too tall for me, or you are too short, or you are too dark, or you are too, we have our taste. So if we say no, we also think that if you're a lecturer in the university, you should be responsible enough.
Sometimes that no pushes the lecturer to start pinning that.
That is the problem.
Yes,
that's why I'm saying that girls have suffered. Because when they say no, you say okay, they start feeling ashamed.
Yes.
That, I feel humiliated in front of this lady, but you don't know that it's love, except because you were coming from for a different intention. Because if it is true love and someone tells you truly love somebody, and the person tells you that no, I don't love you, you'll be happy.
Yes,
you'll be happy that you are not being deceived.
Love is a two-way something.
Yes,
you should love me and I love you back. And if I tell you no, instead you should be happy.
You should be happy.
I don't want to deceive you.
Exactly, but oftentimes the male lecturers, they see it as a taboo. Our girls should not say no to me, professor, me, doctor, no to me. Then I will show you who I really am. And so they get to that point where you start failing these students at the master's level. You are the supervisor. If you just make life horrible for these female students,
because the person has said no. They should also remember that these children, they are coming from somewhere to study. Madam Mira, I used to think that even if you want to do something with somebody, it should not be within that milieu.
Yeah.
Take a time off after that environment and get to that person. I cannot be coming to school. I'm a female student. You are my lecturer, and you start braining me on campus. It does not really look well. But after school, we are men, and we are matured people.
Yeah.
You may know how to get to this person. Not only looking at that environment, and if it does not work, you look for a means.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Don't torture the students. Do not torture the female students. A lot of female students have been in the university for more than 3 years. Those who are going in for the program for 3 years, they have been there for more than 3 years because of some of these reasons that we are talking about. Because of a particular lecturer who has been bent on having a sexual relationship with
a female student.
Yes, and I think it's something that we really need to be talking about day in, day out, so that some of these our lecturers, they are parents, and they have female children.
Remember that tomorrow that child may be also faced with that issue in another university.
Your own child.
Your own child. How will you feel?
How are you going to accommodate that? So at this point in time, I would like us to give some recommendations. These challenges are there, our dear sisters in the university. These challenges are there, but how do we overcome them?
The very first thing we have to overcome them is by having mentors.
Okay.
Madam Mira, in life, you should be able to look up to somebody. And when you look up to that person, not in a negative aspect. Yes, when you look up to that person, there are ladies who have passed through the university and over they shadow those things and they are facing a good life today. Get somebody like your mentor. Look up to that person and ask walk up to the person. It's not bad when you walk up to somebody and tell this person or tell the person that I love you, I love what you are doing, I want to be like you. The person will help guide you. Get a mentor.
I remember when we were in secondary school, we used to admire the elderly students, and we look at them and say, I want you to be my big. Yes. I want you to be my big. I don't know if it's happening nowadays.
I tell you, this is my big. This person, I will take this person for my big.
Yeah.
So get a mentor. Don't think that because you're in a university you have arrived. No, get a mentor so that person will help you and teach you how to overcome some of those situations. The second point, which will really help the children, get yourself busy with academic work. Get yourself busy. Know why you have come to school.
Yeah.
If they have given a group work, go study. When you are busy, they say that there's this saying that Satan is moving to and fro looking for where to enter, and he only go to an idle person. When you are idle, is a workshop of an idle person is a workshop of a devil.
Yes.
So when you are not busy, you will be idle, and when you will be idle, all those evil plans start coming to your mind. Thoughts, get yourself busy. When it's Sunday, there was this day somebody was saying that since she came to Boya, she has not gone to church, but she's a Catholic Christian. I was like, that you have not gone to church? That she has not gone to church and she did not really know where to go to. I said,
In this Boya, with Catholic churches everywhere.
So when it's Sunday, because you are not going to school, go to church. Get a group in church that will help you. Don't just be that kind of, because if you are not spiritually fit too,
it's difficult to overcome some of these challenges.
It's very difficult. Yes. And how do we get that spiritual fitness in church? When you go there on Sunday, get yourself. Is it reader ministry? Do we come and read and share the gospel? Do we come and see that we pray the rosary? Get yourself busy so that those things you will not even know how to. Communicate with your parents.
Let them know the realities of the ground.
Let them know the reality. Some of them don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're facing. And because you don't want to communicate with them, you are on your own struggling and getting yourself involved in trouble.
Yes, and when you talk to your parents, they don't listen, because sometimes you explain to these parents, they will not still listen. Get someone who trusts whom your parents trust. Explain it to that person, so that person should explain it to your parents. Yes. So thank you so very much. Time is against us. We have just 3 minutes to round up the program. As we leave, let us have your concluding words. But before we get your concluding words, we have this message from Miriam Ebude. Miriam Ebude says that, beautiful program, Madam Mirabel. Thank you for talking straight into the eyes of our male lecturers. Their own don't too much. From Mutengene. Thank you, Miriam, from Mutengene. Thank you for your contribution. Now, please let us just have your final words as we leave.
All in all, we are saying that, or we are begging our sisters in the university, that life has never been easy and will never be. It will never be easy. So we are just saying the first thing is, the very first advice I am giving is, when you come there, do not think that you should move the same level with others. Check your fingers. They are not the same. Know where you are coming from and know where you are going to. Get yourself a mentor. It's very important. Mentorship in life is very, very important. I'll tell you without missing it, Madam Mira, talking today on air, talking these days on air, thanks to you. You have struggled to remove some parts in me that maybe I did not know that.
Yeah, you did not know that you had you're having
I remember the first day you called me. I have been watching. It was just interview that they used to interview me when we have our youth program, and you call. I have been seeing you. I think we can come on air and we discuss. I was like,
Is this me
talking on air, and people are watching and they'll be getting,
and you're creating an impact.
Yes. Gradually you have pulled me, and that comfort zone or that talking ability now on air is just part of
you.
So I can look at you and I say, you are my mentor when it comes to
thank you.
TV presentation. So get yourself a mentor.
Thank you so very much, Madam Sarah, who is always here with us. She can leave whatever she's doing just to be here, so that we can all educate ourselves and educate the public on specific issues. We want to say stay tuned to programs on Divine Mercy Radio Television as we part ways today. Do not forget our female students, please. Try to be focused. Don't be lazy. Once you're lazy, you expose yourself to challenges. Try to work hard so that you accomplish the mission of which you are in school. Thank you so much for watching. Take another rendezvous with us next week, Friday, same time, same channel. Goodbye.